Today in this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way to add payment to your Google AI Studio project. So say you want to build an app and you want to collect payment with using Stripe, okay? I'm going to show you how to do that. So for example, let's say this is an account that I want to say upgrade. If I come here now, for instance, I go to my account and then I click on upgrade. As you can see, it will greet me with the prices. Once it greets me with the prices, my current plan is this, and it's advising me to upgrade to this. So if I click on upgrade to Pro, let's see what is going to happen. As you can see, it took me to Stripe to make that payment. All right, so I can click on pay without link, for example. Right, so you can see that it's also bringing me to the option where I could pay with Amazon checkout. I could also pay with all the things here. All right, so let's assume that I make this payment. It will just subscribe me to the plan, and anytime I want to use Dreamseo, right, I can then use it until I cancel my payment. So let me give credit to this lady because she actually did a very beautiful tutorial in terms of this on how you can use Stripe. But the challenge that I found is that she used a test environment, so she didn't use a live environment. And the way she made that tutorial, it kind of speaks directly to people who already have the knowledge of, say, programming, or even if you don't have the knowledge of programming, she made it a bit complex. All right, now what I found out is that you could actually make it even much more simpler. So when I followed her tutorial, I got a lot of errors that I could not, make the stuff work. And I saw that under a comment, people also had similar issue. So that's why I said, okay, once I found the solution, let me just try to share what I found out with you, and hopefully this is easier for you. So let's jump into the tutorial. So what you want to do, all right, like I said, this is quite simple. So you can actually, that is why it's called vibe coding. I believe that you don't necessarily need to have the knowledge of programming or anything to be able to program and build an app. And I think that that is the reason that we say vibe coding. You don't necessarily need to do anything. So that is why this AI is there. So it should be able to show you what you need to do step by step. So what I did was that when I encountered that challenge, I just uninstalled Stripe completely from my app. All right. So what I did next was that I just came here and then I typed, I have uninstalled Stripe extension. Guide me to create from scratch to make payment work. All right, so you can use that same prompt. You could say, for example, now that we've built this app, can you now show me how I can make payment work with Stripe step by step? And it's going to show you. So once I did that, you can see it said this is a comprehensive update to transform Dreamseo into a high-end conversational experience and complete the manual Stripe integration since you've moved away from the official extension. All right, now it just gave me this particular specific strategic vision architecture. So it's just telling me what I just need to do in this sense. All right, so if I scroll down, so basically what AI Studio did here was that it built the payment architecture for me to be able to use Stripe. For example, you can see we have the service Firebase, we have the pricing. It created a pricing page, updated it, Gemini service, and then it added some prompts to it. Now once I have that, I then say make all payments work in front end for now, just so we can test. Now what I mean by that is this, and thanks to that lady, she actually talked about front end, so that's why I got that from. So what this means is that you are telling Google AI Studio that don't implement Stripe yet. Okay, what you need to do is make it work so that I can test this app without having to make payment. I can be able to test the payment without having to make payment. I don't know what you, maybe you got what I mean. But yeah, so that actually works. So I tested it and I saw that if I click, it's, if I click on make payment, it took me to a page, but it just subscribed me automatically without having to make payment. The only thing left out at that point is the payment with Stripe. And you can see that actually worked. I said, wow, this is beautiful. Where would users upgrade be stored in the database? So this is me just asking it, where will they be stored? And it told me that they will be stored directly in users. All right. This is very important. Now, this is actually very important. Okay. So let's scroll down again. So I say, how would users cancel subscription? Right. So because when it created the front end, I could not actually really cancel subscription, so I then say, how would users cancel subscription? So just to tell you that we are vibe coding, and then it told me that the users will be able to cancel their subscription. But now it wasn't there. So he then created something at the front end where he says, since we are currently testing without the backend, I have added a simulate cancellation. Can you see that feature to the profile view? This allows you to test how the app behaves when a user is downgraded back to the free user tier. All right, or back to the free tier. And you can see it added the code. And I was like, wow, that is beautiful. So I was then able to cancel my subscription. All right. Now, if I click on this, right, you'll be able to see, all those code, right? Can you see the code? We have the code there. All right. So you can actually see the code. Now, if I click here to preview, I can go back to preview what we have. So let me click on preview. Can you see now? Now let's go back. So I say, now I want to install Stripe. This is very important. Now I want to install Stripe extension. Guide me step by step to make it work. Right. It says to transition from mock system. So maybe if you want to do your own, you could stay, because it's giving me the language here, right? Because I'm not a programmer. So maybe if you want to do yours, you could start by saying build a mock system to run payments. And then later on, I will be able to maybe add maybe the repayment system like Stripe, all of that. So it says to transition from the mock system to the official run payments with Stripe Firebase extension. Follow these steps precisely. I love that word. So it said, number one, install Stripe extension. So, and it gave me the step by step to do that. So if you want to install Stripe extension, all you need to do is go to your Firebase, all right, and then go to the app. Once you are on the app, all right, and then go to extension, and you'll be able to see the different extensions here, and then you'll be able to install. Now, actually, if I click on, explore extensions, it will give me the different extensions that we have that I can install. But what you want to do is just install that Stripe, run payments with Stripe. And once I install it, it says go to Stripe. You can even click on the link, all right, and it will take you. So if I open this link, so you see, it will take you directly to what you need to do. And then once you install, it says click install and in Firebase console. Now it's giving you the step by step. Say configure settings. Now this is crucial. Listen, cloud Firebase collections for customers. Set this to users. Now, before now, probably one of the reasons that didn't work for me was because that was actually on customers. Now let me show you what I mean. Let's click on manage extension so that I can show you. So if I click on reconfigure extension, now I'm not going to reconfigure it, but I'm just going to show you what it's talking about. Now here, the default will be customers. But for it to work, because Google AI Studio knows your code better than you. Of course, you are not a coder or programmer. So it says I should set that to users, because that's where they are stored. And then I set it to users, and you can see we currently have it as users. All right. And then it says, next thing it says is that Cloud Firestore collections products. Set this to products. As you can see, we have it as products. Can you see? This is products. And then it says Stripe API, enter your API key. So that API key, you will get it from your Stripe. So if you log into your Stripe, all right, and then you click on this, button, and then go up, you'll be able to see your if you go to overview and then scroll up, you'll be able to see your key, which you can then copy and paste. But make sure that when you're doing this, especially when you're just creating it from scratch, ensure to have copied that key, because sometimes you'll not be able to see it after you've created it. So just ensure that you copy it first. All right, so as you can see, we have that, and I've copied it, I put it there, and then it gave me the next step to do. It said enable Stripe, enables sync with Stripe, all right, and all of that. Then the next thing, it says configure Stripe webhooks, and then it told me step by step on how to configure it. Right, go to Stripe dashboard, developer hooks, select all checkout. So I just selected all of this, all right, just this, because that is what it needed per time, per season, for this particular app to work. And once I'm done, I just I just told it I have updated. Okay, now it says I have updated the logic, so it updated the code to ensure that that your app works. And you can see here there's a rule that you need to know. So if you see here, it says rules, Firestore rules. It gives me the rules, so you can copy these rules and then paste it to your own Firestore. And how you do that? Just go to Firestore, go to Firebase or database. All right, once you are on, so go to Firebase data. So go to Firebase database and then go to rules and then paste your rules here. It's as simple as that. All right, and then once I'm done with that, all right, I said this. So I didn't understand something, all right, and then I took a screenshot of that thing and then I pasted it. And I said, this page, what should I fill? And it told me what to fill. All right, and then once I was done, it just gave me step by step on how to do it. And do you know what? I was able to install it. So if there's something that you don't understand, just copy it, screenshot it and tell Google AI Studio that this is it. I don't understand. Can you tell me what to do? All right. And as you can see, once we're done, once I finished that configuration, it told me to click on install extension, and then I was able to install the extension. So you see, I was able to copy this subscription stuffs, that all these things I copied and just so that they were able to work. And that was it. As you can see, my software now works. All right. So if you want to test this, you can go and test it and make payment, and just at least just to support what we're doing. So if you want to see some step by step, for example, maybe you just still needed a visual way to do it, you can go and watch that lady's video. I think she's called Your AI Workflow. I want to say big credit to her for that, but I found that using the AI Studio itself is even much more simpler. So that's how I was able to do it, and I was able to build this particular app that now accepts payment. If you have any question whatsoever, drop it in the comment section and I will be so happy to support you with that. Remember to like and subscribe, just as a form of support to this channel. Thank you.